Okay guys, so here we go with our 5th contour drawing, practice drawing for this series of cross contour drawings. And today we're going to do both a straight line or a angled line cross contour drawing, and we are also going to do a curved line contour drawing. And here's what you're going to need today. You're going to need your sketchbook, you're going to need your black felt tip pen that came in your packet, you're going to need your pencil and your ruler. So let's get going. So guys, as we know, we're getting ready to start getting back to in-class instruction. And one of the things that I would like for you to do while you are still at home is I'd like for you to write your name on your sketchbook, and it doesn't matter where, just make sure I can read it. So write your name on there so that you don't get your sketchbook confused with anybody else's. When we return to school, you're gonna bring your sketchbook and your materials so we can use that at school. You'll have to bring it back and forth with you when you come to class. Okay, so we're gonna start by opening that sketchbook all the way up. There's our project 1 and 2, our project 3 and 4, and today we're gonna start with project 5. This is gonna be a little bit bigger. So let's start with that ruler again. And we're gonna go with our first measurement on here, okay? Let me go over here so we can start. And you're gonna remember we're gonna do a 1/2 inch border, and your inches start where the lines begin, okay? They don't start at the edge of the ruler. Your inches actually start where your lines begin. So that little white line, oh, there's a reflection. Okay, so that little white line is where your measurements begin. The 1/2 inch mark is your medium length line. So that's a 1/2 inch, that's a 1/2 inch, that's a 1/2 inch, okay? So we're gonna draw a 1/2 inch border around this entire drawing. We're gonna make a little tiny line that runs parallel to the 1/2 inch line. Come over to the bottom of your paper. This is how we draw a straight line. You measure twice, and then you line your ruler up to both edges. Hold that line down and draw. This time we're going to draw a little bit lighter, a nice light line that goes from the top of our drawing pad down to the bottom. Okay, let's do that on the other side. So you're going to make a 1/2 inch mark right here, just a little tiny one so we don't get it mixed up. Come down to the bottom. See how my edge of my paper is lined up where the measurements start? You come over to 1/2 inch, make a mark. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll make it a little darker so you can see, okay? Then you line that ruler up. I like to put my pencil here so I can just go tink, tink, tink. And then that'll make it so I only have one measurement that I really have to line up. And so we make our nice level line, okay? So we're ready to do the top and the bottom border. And I think that it doesn't matter where you put the edge of your measurements. Okay, I could go to 9, I could go to 8, but what you need to do is you need to make sure that you come up a 1/2 inch from the edge of your paper. So that's lined up to that inch mark, and then you come up to 1/2 inch, make a mark. Okay, so this one's a little more difficult because you have a crease in your paper. Go to 1/2 inch. Okay, so line that up, 1/2 inch. And our 1/2 inch from here to here is actually at the 9 because that's a 1/2 inch mark, and from here to here is a 1/2 inch. Okay, so now I'm going to line up those two level lines, and I know where to put my ruler, okay, because sometimes students get confused. Well, do I put my ruler here or do I put my ruler here? Well, because I made the line that goes parallel or that goes out from my original line, I know what direction my line is supposed to draw. What direction I'm supposed to draw my line in. So there you go. Okay. So we've drawn this border. Looks like my measurements are off a little bit. Let's check. That's 1/2 inch. It could just be the angle of my camera. Okay, I'm good. Okay, so what we have now is our border. We know it's correct. I haven't made any mistakes. So I'm ready to erase the things that I don't want on the edge. And then you can go ahead and label this. You've done these 2 drawings. This is 3 and 4. This is number 5. And this is going to be curved. Whoops, look at that. It would be helpful if I knew how to spell curved, right? Curved. Okay, then what we're going to do is, this is a little different. We're going to take this a little different. This time, we're going to use our black felt tip pen. Now that we've had practice with our pencil, I want you to experiment with this black felt tip pen. And we'll go nice and slow from edge to edge, so you know where to draw. Same thing over here. Try not to drag your ruler across this pen line, because that pen, because it's felt tip, might smear. So I'm very conscious all the time about not dragging my ruler across the line, because it could still be wet. It's probably dry over here by now, but I'll just set it down just in case it's not all the way dry. Okay, so I'm ready to go. So as we get going with this drawing, I'm going to show you a couple of things that I don't want you to do. So I'm going to move that over for just a minute, and we're going to come over here to my don't do. So you can see that I've already started to draw my contour lines on here. Okay, now let's say I've got an empty space down here. The first thing I'm going to show you is one problem I've seen a lot of people do is that kind of stuff. This is called teeing off. Do you see how right here I'm making a T, like a little tiny T? See if I can bring that closer. So I don't want you to tee off. There's going to be times in the future when we do our creative assignments, I'll show you an example, that it's going to be okay to tee off. Right now, for our practice, we're not going to tee off. The other thing I don't want you to do is make sketchy lines. So here's an example of a sketchy line. Okay? The quality of line here is a lot different from the quality of line here. This is a clear, defined, confident line. This is a sketchy line. There's times where it's okay to sketch like this, but right now, your line quality is not going to be anywhere near as nice if you make those sketchy lines. So no sketchy lines. No. Okay? The other thing that I don't want you to do is go too fast. I've seen too many people go too fast. So here's an example of going too fast. Okay? So the line again becomes a lot less controlled, okay? And you're not going to be able to get these kind of details if you go too fast. So slow down. All right? So the last thing that I'm going to show you guys is, let's say you got your nice contour line here. Is you want to like slowly make changes, gradual changes. Some of them can even start to overlap a little bit. But everything's going to be very gradual. One thing I'm seeing students do is if they want to make a change, they make it too fast. So it just starts to look, you know, it doesn't have that nice, clear repetition. You can start to make your changes. Okay, you can find a way to make changes, but your changes really need to be more slow and gradual. Okay, so we're not going to make quick changes. We're not going to make sketchy lines. We're not going to tee off, and we're not going to go too fast. Okay, so this whole drawing, and I have this little tape up here so I know where to put my sketchbook. You don't have to do that at home. It's just because I'm measuring up to the camera. So this one is going to be curved again, and it's going to be non-objective. You're not necessarily going to try one, but it's going to be a lot more difficult on this because you've got way more space to cover. So make sure when you draw your next lines that you are not dragging too much, because this looks like it's already dry, but it's possible that this line will smear. Okay, and you're just going to keep going. So I'm going to continue with this drawing. I'm going to keep going. I'll probably speed up the camera a little bit so you guys don't have to see me, so it'll look like I'm drawing really fast, but I'm not. But I'll just keep going. You can go along with me. All done. Make sure you always put that lid on or these markers will dry up. Half inch, another half inch, half inch, And these are the straight. Or zigzag. Okay, and then these are number 6. This is your number 6 drawing. Use that felt tip pen